Filth of Hunt number 18, comment section, headache. This is I Could Know Better. I'm still a little sick. But as I was gathering evidence for this part here, it hurted my brain quite a lot. I will show the evidence that I just have gotten and then go through it with you guys, and then also like show further, but I will start clipping and such with that instead. So here, to begin with, I think it was down here he wrote it. Yeah, here. Because they can only react to the light and they shot me within a fraction of a second. What is a fraction of a second? A fraction is a smaller part than the whole. A fraction of a second can be a half a second or a quarter of a second or any other part. Okay, so in accordance to that, what is a fraction? But okay, just half or a quarter of a second. This is where I started, and this here was where I started gathering the evidence, because I then brought up this. Making it fair, I took it from he made the sound, and then you see the light, and I know. I ended it when he died. It should have ended like this. Because here, just going like slightly further, you'll see that the shot happens basically instantly. You can see the shot happens. Like there is nothing extra there. So I took it before he shot and said, okay, this here is to benefit Joe. I should actually end it here. It was just to show you how it would work and that I cropped the rest of it. But there's the sound, there's the light. Joe then said, because they can only react to the light, and they shot me within a fraction of a second. Within the light, okay. Then we went down here. You can see it says 00027. But if I then go here and says 27, 27 can do both light and no light. So I just removed it at 27. Then we have basically a full second. But that's not a fraction of a second, because then it looks like this. And if we then take this one here and we extend it, crop it, take this again, extend it, slow it down, you can see the shot happens. So this here is where he reacts. The more I slow it down, the easier it is to show frame by frame section in this software here. Like, you cannot argue this person reacted in a fraction of a second when he reacted to you on the second itself. Like, you are giving him 1,000 milliseconds to react on, and calling that a fraction of a second. Like, why are you lying on purpose? That was how I did that part. But then I thought, hey, why not just go through it step by step? So what I did was go up here, read here, You can pause to read if you want to. And then I did. So I have to say I disagree with all your examples. But you're disagreeing with no argument, reason, or logic. This is Joe's counter to anything and everything whatsoever. This here is Joe's counter. He doesn't know how to actually counter-argue what people are saying. He's just directly invalidating it. Okay, never mind, I will go through it. I can understand your motive to find a reason why a person would be... why another player plays the way they do and might even be better, but you will never fully understand another player's reaction, action, or thoughts based on a video footage. That is an argument for why you are not understanding what is going on, why they might not be cheating based on your own emotional desires. Especially when the server doesn't send you exactly what's happening on the other player's screen. Another argument. Okay, that's another argument, another reason, and another logic for why you're wrong. That's 2. I'm sorry, but accusing someone of cheating, who most likely isn't, and puts you in a mindset you don't want to be in. AKA, everyone needs to be cheating to kill me. I'm so good at games that I can only be killed by cheaters. You're only hurting yourself with that. This here is also an argument, a reason, and a logical statement for why Joe Blue should not claim cheat at every single thing. So there are 3 arguments, reasons, and they are all logics. A logical, if you want. I clearly showed the behavior that the player knew where the player was and was using wall hacks. Here he's talking about the guy from 17. The guy that's hiding down here. I have gone through this one here twice already. Once when he came out with that, and another time when he came out with number 18, where this commentator is from. I will not go through insane amount of details with that. The only thing I will do is this. This here is just a play of my own video. I will share to you the exact same thing. I clearly showed obvious behavior that the player knew where the player was and was using wall hacks.
Player earlier knew he was looking at a player. You can't tell me that you're fucking 5-star and you can't see a fucking dude. Even with the shit quality of the video that is uploaded in, you can blatantly tell there's a fucking dude there. How can anybody who's supposedly high-rated 5-star MMR can't see a dude who's right in front of their face, who would then go and pull up his map and pretend, oh, I've not seen nobody.
Joe then goes to argue, but I did see him, I just didn't want to shoot him because he was in the middle of a gunfight. Just, okay. So you are letting an enemy get the better of you. You're giving an enemy a handicap. You are letting an enemy survive. You, Joe Blue, are on purpose making sure the enemies are at a better situation than you are. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever when you argue like that. So this here is an indicator of you using wall hacks, you showing with your own voice that you are using wall hacks because you don't know this person is there. But hey, okay, fair. And then he continues with the same shit he always do. You are either a cheater, just outright saying everyone are a cheater. Every single person is a cheater. Or you're really bad at critical thinking since you just disagree with people based on feelings instead of well thought out logical arguments. Then like, he's not emotional, Joe. He if you find anything up here that is emotional distress, upset, or anything regarding those like negative emotions, then you are the most impressive person in the entire world, because you cannot read emotions based on text. You can have an idea of what emotions there might be, but people can write however they desire. It doesn't need to be their writing in their actual emotions. They don't even need to put emojis to show what emotions they are. Writing 3 question marks can be a frustration, but it can also just be a deep desire to have a question answered. Like, exclamation marks can be angry behavior, multiple exclamation marks can be to point out a lot of things, but you don't necessarily have those emotions when you do it. That's why there are the things called trolls. You cannot read emotions online. You could previously, but because trolls have come out and basically evolved to the point where they can manipulate text, because human language has also evolved to that point, then today it is far more difficult to read emotions. So right here you are projecting your own insecurities onto him. You are outright just saying something without proving that he didn't come with a well thought out logical argument. It's a baseless claim, simply because you don't want to address what he's saying. That is very emotional of you to do, but I can say that because that's common of what you're doing. You are frustrated that so many people are not agreeing with you. Yes, Joe Blue. There are basically no one on this entire channel you have created that are actually agreeing with you. From time to time, you have some ignorant person who comes by and then appear to say, I love your channel, you are the greatest. Just like this guy down here, Big Brew. He's a known cheater, known exploiter, and a known scripter. You love him, you love his support, which kinda is ironic though. Continue. Again, pause to read if you want to read this. I'm not gonna. Pause to read if you're gonna read this. I'm not gonna. This down here, Joe Blue, is what I am gonna go through. I'm gonna read this though, because that's what he is talking about. My argument was that your analyzed data does not represent the reality. You yourself, as you yourself said in between, for example, when you said it in the first clip that the guy crouched shortly and this wasn't displayed properly. That's because the server is not always sending everything to everyone in a precise way because of ping difference, etc. But you can, but you accuse others of cheating based on only what you see and guess. And this doesn't seem right to me. That right there is why, and I suggest everyone follow that. Do not trust everything on the internet. And this doesn't seem right to me. That's because he's not magically, blindly trusting Joe Blue. But Joe Blue then goes on later in his excuse for it. These are all claims and assumptions. No, they're not. They are arguments. The difference is, it was one argument, and it was because the server is not always sending the correct information to everyone at the precise time because of ping. That was his argument. One. Joe Bloom makes it multiple. These all claims, assumptions, like Joe Blue doesn't know what he's talking about, so he's just adding crap to it. In the first clip, you can use server lag as an excuse because they can only react to the light, as I showed you here. Reacting to the light on a full second. And shot me within a fraction of a second. That's a lie. That's a blatant lie. I even proved it using his own video. If you want to use the lag argument, then you're only further supporting my argument, because that means they reacted even faster to the light of the flare. No, they did not. No, Jesus, fuck. No, it is not. If there was server lag, it would mean that you got responded to slightly later than what he did, but he probably saw your flare at the same time. Or it could even be that both of you had the lag, so it would actually just match up anyway. He saw the flare later, you saw his shot later. Like, so it got pushed on both sides because of the server lag. And the second part is actually one of the more common things that's happening in PvP games. That's why no latency hits 0. It always stays at 15 to 30, roughly 43 also. Because there is a slight push in the time frame that is considered acceptable. Sorry, lack of word. The other clips I'm using are from the player themselves, not spectating, from what they actually played. You don't have an argument. Saying that doesn't mean he doesn't, just means you don't have the intelligence to argue against what he said. Why does this even make me a cheater? This does not seem to be a logical argumentation, because only a cheater would go against me without an argument. You'd either side with me or be neutral. No, that is 110% completely a lie, and let me show you why based on Joe's own video list. A troll accusing me of cheating. No one wants to be accused of cheating. No one wants to let false accusations slide either. It is normal human behavior to go against the unjust. That is why people also go against cheaters, because it's not justified to be cheating, so it's unjust. if it's unjust to make false accusations, then it's standard to go against you without being a cheater, but having arguments. And you saying that he does it without arguments is a proof that you don't care when you're proven wrong. Because again, he said what his arguments are, and this here is a split of 3 sections of argumentations with valid reasons and logic behind it. But you are making up excuses that are not relevant, as I have logically explained would again lead to that you are what? But you're making up excuses that are not relevant. What excuse? What excuses? He made absolutely 0 excuses. Like, dude. Oh, sorry. As I've logically explained, would again lead to that to that you are. Wow, his English is the level of a kindergartner, just learning it. Cheater pathway, because as I've logically explained again. Explain that. Again, I cannot read it. I literally cannot read this. As I have logically explained, would again lead to the you are cheater. There we go. Pathway, because I don't think an intelligent person can be so intellectually dishonest if they were not a cheater. This here in itself makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I cannot comprehend what he is remotely close to be saying here. Thus, I absolutely have no way of knowing how I should engage with that sentence. Like, Joe Blue didn't logically explain why Mancusian is a cheater. He never logically explained that. And him being unable to think an intelligent person can do something, can be so intellectually dishonest if they're not a cheater. Like, I don't understand why Joe thinks this guy here is dishonest at all, because Joe are just outright denying what he's saying, because he claims there are no Joe says there are claims and assumptions, not real arguments based on it, and it makes no sense why he would then call it dishonesty, because then they are not claims or assumptions, then they are lies and deceptions. It literally makes no sense whatsoever. Joe Blue are taking a little here, taking a little there, taking a little here, taking a little there, a little here, and a little there, putting it all together and says kindergarten level English. Like, he my brain cannot process his flawed English and super weird way of talking. He tries desperately to use big words but fails so insanely hard. Okay, I think you said everything I needed to hear. And I like this comment here because I understood what he meant here. He says, okay, you are now telling me that regardless what it is I'm saying and how much I explain it, how well I actually explain what I'm saying, you are never going to listen to me. Joke Blerp then responded to what proving you wrong, which shows you how desperate Joe needs to be right. He doesn't know what actually is happening. He doesn't live in reality. Joe Blerp just needs to be right. This here was never about, to begin with, about being right or wrong. I even think, yeah, arguing with someone is not about winning. It's not about being right or wrong in moments like this. Because he said it's a hurtful mentality to think you are so invincible that only cheaters can beat you. Have you ever heard the expression, there is always someone better? There is always someone better. If you live by that, you are gonna push yourself even further, because then your amount of capabilities, your skill, your education, your knowledge, your strength, your flexibility, your whatever field you are performing at, you are pushing yourself even further to be the best. Because you know that at some point out there in the entire world, you might run into someone that's better. So you're pushing yourself even further to make sure that there are less and less and less people that are better than you. But there's still someone better than you. But that also means the moment you find someone better than you, you don't crash and burn. You don't break. You don't explode. You don't lash out at everyone. As Joe Blerp are doing. Again, what proving you wrong? You know, arguing with someone is not about winning. It's about getting insight, and I got mine. As I said up here, his insight was, no matter what he says to Joe Blerp, Joe will just outright deny anything and everything he is saying. There is absolutely nothing that Joe can say that will justify calling, first and foremost, calling this guy here a cheater, just simply for shooting him here in the darkness after he, that's a good pause, before he dies, after the shot went off. Holy crap. Like, this here is a legitimate moment. It's a legit shot. I can even show it again on Clipchamp. I can extend it just a little. What? Let me get 1 full second, please. Oh, it's just all that. Well, doesn't matter. Start over. Even a little over a full second, the shot just here left him. It's not even on Joe yet. How far do we need to be? Oh, that's close. You can just at the very end hear the shot on Joe's side. That's close. That's fucking close. It doesn't matter. This year I just proved Joe are lying his ass out. Once again, proved it. And for the third time, going to prove this here was a legit gunfight. We can do something like this. Let's do it like that, and this, and then we find a link. There we go. There, and up here. Then we go here. Then we take that one, and we take this one. Then we take theater mode. We take theater mode. We go back. Nah, I had it. Darn it. Darn you, fat fingers. Wait, what? You can see from the shots on this at the beginning to the end here, the speed are the exact same of the clip. And if you then go down here and find the thing here, what proof is showing a sped up gameplay? Just playing them side by side proves Joe does not know what he's talking about with his initial reaction. And saying it again, I'm fairly certain he's saying it here. It's not sped up. Wanna come Discord? I'll stream it to, if you can't believe it. It is sped up. I'll just assume you're hiding your footage by cheats, blah, 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 blah. It's plainly obvious sped up. Yeah, it is so obvious sped up that I can and have made a side-by-side video comparison for it. Not that one. Was it on part 1? Yeah, here we go. Yes, because you need a desperate attempt to claim that he's faking the evidence. As I showed you in my video, well, technically you didn't see it. Everyone else might have. Oh wait, was it that one? Oh, it was the other one. Thank you, me, for informing me that I was wrong. Here it was. It was the... Here. Proving Joe Blue is a kindergarten gardener in mentality.
I'm gonna show it now.
As you can see here, Joe Blue's clip over there. Got your goods clip over here. The sound is doubled to help show that that there is no trickery with either of their clips. So their fight in itself, you can see the time frame matches, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with either of their clips. As I said, I've proven him wrong multiple times, and it's a continued like theme on my channel, proving Joe Blue wrong. Joe Blue, we take the other one. Everything I say is based on facts and logic. I'm saying you're wrong and I'm right, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, that's how he behaves. That's why this here is my banner. That's why I'm doing the insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. The devil in disguise, derp Batman, derp devil, Joe Blue, the fraud, the liar, our own Joe Blue, the anti-cheater. Like, that's why I'm having these thumbnails. Because Joe Blue are lying insanely much and refuses to admit he's wrong. Regardless how many times he actually is wrong. He will never admit defeat. And you can even see it here. Like, he doesn't understand, like, normal, standard human conversation level. This was fun.